different designs in the computer, print it out, get it. There's nothing impossible when you can imagine everything.
Let's move on to the second topic, Hartmut, because I think that's the one you also like to talk about, and it's dear to your heart at this moment. And you sort of already hinted upon this one. This one is about sustainable design or modularity. Do you have a question starter? Let's co-design the question.
Yeah, actually, how can we get there? Yes.
How can we get to sustainable design or to modularity? Or
actually, it's two things. One is the modular concept. Each product with some complexity has different components, and they have different life cycles. Take a refrigerator in my kitchen. It has a housing. The housing can live for 100 years. There's a compressor head on the inside, so currently it's not separatable. And when we moved back to the house, we rebuilt it. Then we had to, the other one didn't match, so we sold it, and somebody took it. It's always a fixed element, but the functionality of it is so different. So one project we do in China is a refrigerator which is adaptive to local food culture. More vegetable, more beef, more fish. In the north more beef, in the south more veggies, and veggies everywhere, but also fish in the south, which is very perishable. Also shopping patterns, because people have to walk. They don't have, China isn't working like here that you drive to the supermarket. You have to do, if you have to go public transport, there's no parking, so you have to public transport and walk. So we also designed a shopping cart which can be taken home. It has a cooling function in it, because if you go to Shanghai or Beijing or Xi'an and a huge temperature, everything melts off. We do a modular concept which then allows people to adjust to their liking. For vegetarians, don't eat the beef compartments, stuff like that. Also, some intelligence in it that it gives you advice what to buy when. And normally, this is one example. The other one, displays. I'm a computer here. So I have those 7 Macs at least in my closet, which has a digital display. We can watch TV on it or whatever, medias, movies, but it's de facto thrown away. And so I think modularity would mean that on my iPhone here, so I just would put in a new chip and it's upgraded. So maybe more memory. I do have to throw away the whole thing. And Apple could charge me $340 for this thing. It would be even more profitable. Instead of this whole ecological nightmare of throwing hundreds of millions of phones away.
You had an interesting article on your blog. I will link to it in the description. And I sort of got the idea through the blog that we used to design for modularity and more sustainability. Your example of the Beetle, and somehow we lost that along the way. What happened?
Correct.
What happened? Where did we lose it?
I think both the Beetle and actually also the old Ford T model, the Lizzie, and especially the Deux Chevaux in France, were very modular. Everything could be replaced in a very short time. And so it were really smart concepts. But actually they were limiting the design a little bit, but there is no reason with modern production methods to be more modular in the automotive thing. Then comes the idea of crash testing, also acceptable. Even that could be modules, The excuse people use, yes, we have to run the business, we have to sell new cars, we have to sell new refrigerators, new iPhones, new computers. So there's a lot of artificial obsolescence in there. And naturally it's easier to sell a closed concept to somebody. It's just a product, bang, bang, so much money. And it's a really addiction to cheapness, getting cheaper instead of the right thing. It's not about price, it's about the right thing, which has a long life cycle. And then the different life cycles of components, so the display in a computer can live 10 years, theoretically. The processor, 18 months. So why not the battery also gets kind of tired over time, and then just change the components which have a shorter life cycle or a shorter innovation cycle. The rest could stay.
So your point is also that there is no other way. We need more sustainable design, otherwise we'll sort of kill ourselves and kill the planet. From your perspective, what will be the driving forces that actually move us more into sustainable design? Will it be the large corporations? Will it be the government? Will it be education? What will lead this?
I think one more the economic thing is design a modular product which convinces by being more valuable, and also providing more usage and fun and a better fulfillment of the product promise. But I think then you hopefully win over those with the old-fashioned concept. But I think we also need political help. For example, in Germany right now, they have finally decided to ban diesel engines from the downtown because of the PM 2.5. Same in China, they will ban gasoline-driven fossil fuel out of cities within the next couple of years. Downtown Shanghai already is redesigned for electric and fuel cell. And so I think we also need the political will.
Yeah.
Because people are dying from this craziness. Also, for example, in China, when you fly to Mongolia, there are craters in the town there, 4 or 5 miles wide, and they dig for the teledyne, which is actually used in our displays. So, I mean, it's nearly a kilometer deep, huge. One day it's gone. You see these holes. You have to recycle, so also design for recycling. I think the better way, instead of design for recycling, is to design for reuse. Make it usable again.
Are you hopeful that we'll succeed? Do you have any clues that we're actually going to get there?
I mean, one thing was, I think human people need a crisis. Only then they're willing to rethink in the big number. In the beginning, when I worked with Apple and Steve, I said no paint. Because I'd seen at Sony what the paint is doing. I mean, this metallic stuff, whatever, and the plastic cannot be recycled, and it's even not that good looking. So I said, why don't we look at the best plastic, which is actually 4 times the price than the current plastic, but it's only from $1 to $4 in the computer, and then you don't paint. And I said, one day we make 1 million computers, and I showed him a picture of how much spray they would put on. But I said, if it looks right, why not? You know. I mean, you can. We designers have to convince people with a positive argument that what we do will be will be better, not only for the recycling element or whatever, but also for the daily use. It doesn't scratch off, you know, because there's no paint. And then there's the chemical industry. With Apple they gave us always better. GE gave us better plastic.
So again, my question: are you hopeful? Do you think?
No, I'm a skeptic. I'm an optimistic skeptic, but I don't give in. The problem is, I'm now over 70, and you think, okay, we changed a lot, achieved a lot, but in the end, there's also the counter movement of non-creative, senseless waste, and actually, I think also uneducated, naive, and stupid consumption. That's our enemy. I think it's human behavior. If people would refuse to buy it because of certain things, that would be helpful. So I think if you speak of services,